feel like representation matters. There's no question about who I serve and who my target audience is. And I think that resonates with the natural hair movement because as women with natural hair, we want to be acknowledged.
In today's episode, I have the pleasure of speaking with Tonya Cross. Tonya is the accessory designer of Accented Glory, a handcrafted fashion accessory brand. Her specialty is cowrie shell designs that have an Afrocentric boho chic vibe. Tonya's pieces include hair accessories, jewelry, and handbags. Her designs have been featured on Essence, Refinery 29, and Good Housekeeping. Welcome to the show, Tonya.
Excited to be here, excited to share with your listeners about my brand.
Fantastic. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh my goodness. Okay, where to start? Okay. First and foremost, I am the accessory designer of Accented Glory. Accented Glory is my handcrafted fashion accessory brand. My specialty is cowrie shell and African print designs. My pieces include hair accessories, jewelry, and handbags. So that's some of who I am. I'm also a pharmacist for a long-term care facility. My brand was kind of like therapy for me. A way for me to decompress because making things by hand it gives me peace and joy. So then I know we're going to get into it, but eventually that hobby, that therapy turned into a business. So
that's fantastic. And as you alluded to, we're going to get into it. So can you share a little bit about your personal journey and what inspired you to create Accented Glory?
A need. When I started wearing my hair natural back in 2001, I had a hard time finding hair accessories that were natural, hair friendly, because I started out making hair accessories. That was my first design, was hair accessories. And I was having a hard time finding hair accessories that were natural, hair friendly, and hair accessories for adult women, because a lot of the hair accessories in retail were for young adults, girls. So I wanted something a little more mature.
I got you on that one.
I am a woman, and I also wanted something that wasn't going to cause damage or harm to my natural hair. So because I couldn't find that, a friend suggested, why don't you just make what you're looking for? And you know what? I was like, I never considered that. And I said, you know what? I think I will. So I made it, started wearing the hair accessories, and other people started seeing me wearing the hair accessories and was asking, well, can you make me one? And it just really snowballed from there. That's how it all started.
I love that. I love that so much because I also am a natural hair person as well. I got a little straight today. I had to do some ends, trim those ends. But but I totally agree with you with the struggle in trying to find accessories that are on the more mature side. What really like inspired you to take action? Because I had troubles too, right? But I didn't think, let me go start an entire accessory brand. Like, how did you always have that passion for creating?
Yes, I've always been a creative. I've been creating things by hand since childhood. When I was little, my mom said I would make my baby doll clothes because my mother's a seamstress. So I would make my baby doll clothes and
there you go.
Things like that. And like I would create crafts as gifts for people. So I've always been a creative at heart, but I never considered building a brand based on my creativity. That never was like people saying that on my bingo card, like create a brand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm sitting up here listening to you. You didn't have that on your bingo card, and yet and still you were able to build that while having a 9 to 5 as a pharmacist. How difficult was that for you?
Oh, it's it is challenging.
Okay,
I must admit, it is challenging, but as people, as individuals, we make time for things that's our priority.
that's so true. Yes.
And because my well-being, my self-care
Mhm.
is a priority for me, I make time for it because, like I said, creating things is my happy place. So I make time for that. I schedule out time for that. I had to create a schedule where I incorporated creating into that schedule. Recently, though, as a gift to myself, I turned 54 last year,
I
and
remember
my gift
license and registration. You
my
look
gift to myself, I cut my work week back. And I let my job know in advance. I was like, hey, it'll be 30 years in this field, in this profession. And I just felt like I owed it to myself. You know, I've given 30 years of my life to this profession. Now it's time for me.
yeah.
So I let them know in advance. I say my birthday coming up in May. I'm cutting my work week back. Just giving you a heads up. They're like, sure, okay. And so
Wow.
here I am. So now I have more time
Mhm.
to spend working, doing the things I like, doing the things I enjoy. So yeah, but I wasn't. I'm still not ready. Wasn't ready to give up them license.
Okay.
Because I was like, I spent too many years in college for this profession, not ready to
Yeah.
give up the license yet. But I look at my job as kind of like my salad investor into my
Yes.
career. So yeah.
I love that, and I don't wanna belabor the point, but you look amazing, so all that self-care, take note, people. This is what self-care looks like when you do it right. Oh
Um,
my goodness. So, what sets Accented Glory apart from other accessory brands? There's a lot out there, but what sets you
yeah,
apart?
it is a lot. It is a lot out there. Definitely fashion, accessory design is a saturated field. And like you said, you gotta set yourself apart from other people,
Mhm.
other brands to stand out. What sets me apart is that all of my designs, my creative muse is cowrie shells. So I incorporate cowrie shells, which is a type of seashell, and I'm wearing one of
Yes,
my
yes, yes. I love
but
your
cowrie shells is a type of seashell. Cowrie shells is the first form of money known to mankind. So when I started researching the seashell and getting a better understanding of the history of the seashell, and then I started incorporating that into my content when I educate my customers about what they purchasing and what the shell symbolizes. And then once I learned that the shell has African roots, I was like, okay, so it's a part of my heritage and how our ancestors utilized the shell for different things and different purposes. I said, okay, that was my draw. Now I understand why I was drawn to the shell, and I also incorporate what this particular design is animal print, but I also incorporate like African print into my design. So it gives my designs like an Afrocentric, boho chic vibe. So
I love
that is what, yeah, that's what makes my design stand out. Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. You know, you're so creative, right? But you also have to run a business. So, how do you balance both being a creative and trying to run a business? Because I know that's difficult.
It is. It's
Yeah.
difficult. And the thing, the game changer for me was I had someone ask me, are you in this to run a business or are you in this
It's true, because the approach, or as a hobby, right? Because
Right.
it's
Is
different.
this an expensive hobby? The choice is yours.
Mhm.
You have to decide what it's going to be for you. And so I had to sit down with myself and
Mhm.
say, hey, this is true. What is it going to be for you? Because if you're going to run a business, there's some changes you need to make. And for me, it was creating a structure, blocking off time, a calendar. Because for me personally, if it's not written down, it's not happening.
That's how I feel. If it doesn't make it to the calendar, for me, I can write it down, but if it's not on my calendar, I have two, digital and a written one. If it's not on
Yeah.
both, it's not
Right. I have two too. I have a written, I have like a week calendar board right here on my desk right now where I write down things. And I also use the calendar on my phone as well, my Google Calendar. Yeah.
happening. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But so I had to create a schedule. Basically, I had to create a schedule. So, and I created the schedule around my work schedule, of course.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Um, so like certain days I perform certain tasks. And that's how I balance it all. And within that calendar, though, I also schedule time like that. I'm married. I've been married for 31 years.
Oh my
So my husband and I have date night once a week. So I know on Fridays, don't schedule nothing. Don't, that's date night for me and the hubs. Nothing happens Friday evenings for me.
God.
That's my husband's time. That's the time we spend together. Because he's also an entrepreneur. So we use that time to catch up with each other, see what's going on with each other, how we can help each other, how we can assist each other.
Mhm.
So everything is just really scheduled. I have to schedule myself. I have to have structure for me to operate and flow effectively. And then I have me time. My me time is on Sundays. I said, if God can rest on Sundays, so can I.
Right.
Uh,
Exactly. That is the example.
so Sunday is my day, and I pick and choose what I want to do. It's something different every Sunday. If I choose to read a book, fine. If I choose to do a puzzle, fine. Whatever I decide I want to do, that's what I do on Sundays. And Saturdays, it's family day. So I incorporate. I have 3 adult daughters. They're
I
32.
need to look at your license because
Yeah,
I
32.
just don't believe it.
Yeah, 32, 28, and 26. My baby is 26. So it's just like I have to incorporate, time to spend and engage with them as well. But my oldest is in Texas. So yeah, I don't get to see her as often, but I do schedule time with my granddaughters. I am a gam gam. I have 2 granddaughters. There's 2, and
Really
my
need to
youngest will be a year old soon. So she
I
got a birthday coming up. Yeah.
I you don't look like a day over like 30. I mean, like you look so young. This is what self-care looks
You.
like. This is
Thank
what
you.
self-care looks like. Oh my goodness, you are beautiful. Oh,
Yeah, but I schedule Gam Gam time. We FaceTime, like I said, because my granddaughters are in Texas. So we FaceTime every Monday. So it's Gam Gam story time on Monday. So I read them, tell them a story every Monday. Yeah.
so cute. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you were starting Accented Glory, and how did you overcome them? I'm sure you had a lot of them working a 9 to 5.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
My biggest challenge was I had never had a business before. Never run the business before. And as you, I'm sure you know, and a lot of small business owners know, in order to be effective in this day and time to run a business, you have to have some knowledge of marketing.
Yeah.
Um,
True, true, true. It's true.
And marketing was like not my forte. I had no experience in marketing either. And because my business is online and I sell online, I had to figure that out very fast. What that looks like for me and my brand. And my oldest daughter, the one I was sharing that lives in Texas, she was like, "Mom, you gotta be the face of your brand." And I'm like,
True.
"What?"
Yes, it's
I like because at a lot of people have a hard time believing this, but at heart, I'm an introvert. I'm okay being behind the scenes. I'm okay because she accused me of hiding behind my logo. I'm okay being behind the scenes. Yeah, I'm comfortable, fine, no problem. But when she instructed me, because I mean that's her area of expertise. She's a communications, journalism, PR major. So she was like, "No, you got to be the face of your brand because people buy from who they know and who they can resonate with and who they can identify with." And then, of course, I felt uncomfortable because I launched my brand in my late, like mid to late 40s. So I'm like, I'm too old.
no.
Doing
Mm-mm.
this like, oh my god. So I was like, okay. I took her advice. I said, okay. So she said you need to start doing videos, and I was like, okay, okay. But over the years, I've learned a lot. I've gotten a lot more comfortable
Mhm.
being in front of the camera. I know how to turn my extrovert switch on
Yeah, there you
and
go.
decompress and replenish myself when I turn it off.
I get it. I get it. We're a lot alike. I know a lot of people would be kind of shocked about that as well. I can turn it
Mhm.
on and turn it off as well. I'm more of an introvert myself. I don't mind being by myself. It's just, yeah, I
Yeah,
totally, totally get it. But I have such a strong desire to share people's stories. I've always been like very inquisitive and
right.
into history and things like that. So I get that whole turn on and turn off switch. But
Yeah.
my background marketing communications as well. So your daughter, I get it. He was right to push you.
Yeah, she pushed me. She definitely pushed me for sure and continues to encourage me
Exactly.
and push
Or
me.
that or just like that gentle kick.
No, it's a push.
Okay. Uh, so what's been your proudest moment as an entrepreneur?
I think my proudest moment was when I was featured in Essence. When my one of my designs was featured in Essence, that I
Yeah.
think that feature
Mhm.
really shift my mindset relating to my brand because I already had the proof of concept because I was already selling online. I sell on Amazon and
Mhm.
Etsy. So I knew that people were interested in purchasing my designs,
Mhm.
but the Essence feature affirmed that it was also publication worthy. You know what I'm saying? And with Essence,
Of course.
it's an amazing publication. They highlight Black women accomplishments,
Yeah.
and it was just an honor to even to be considered. And I went as far as reaching out to the person who wrote the article, and I asked her, I say, I know this may sound weird, but I just got to know what about my brand made you, because she could have chose, like you said, it's a saturated field.
Yeah.
She could have chose any
Mhm.
brand to highlight, any brand to feature. And I was like, why did you choose me? And she affirmed that, as my daughter has been telling me, that when she, because you got to have your stuff together.
Yeah, you do.
Um, she said she saw it. She was looking for Etsy finds, so she found me on Etsy. And once she found me on Etsy, she went to my website, and my website confirmed, yes, this is the person I'm looking for, because she said you had everything I needed on your website to verify that, yeah, this person is serious about their business, they're serious about what they're doing. And so that, to me, that was the highlight of
Mhm.
my brand, that caused that shift and shift my mindset. That's when I started thinking, okay, it's time to get serious
I mean, you made it in
about this.
essence.
Right. And what I'm doing, because this is big, much bigger than I thought it was. If that makes sense, it
Yeah,
was kind of awakening for
yeah.
me when that happened. Because when it happened, like it's not like they tell you or anything like that. I just started getting more sales. And I was like, where is all this traffic coming from? Who are these people and where are they coming from? So what I end up doing, I'm a numbers girl. So I was checking my stats on my Etsy shop and I was like, where is this traffic coming from? So I looked and it said essence.com. I said, hold up. Okay. So then I Googled my brand name and then I Googled Essence and together, and that's when I saw the publication. But
Oh,
she
yes.
had me listed as a Etsy find with other Black women designers
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Wait a minute. They didn't give you a heads up ahead of time? That
No,
Oh,
no. Yes, I've
wow.
been
Okay.
featured several times, and they don't give you a heads up.
Wow.
So, and basically, the way I found out about it, what I ended up doing after that happened was I did the Google thing where the Google alerts,
Google.
where it alerts you.
Yeah, yeah, that is very important. I was just gonna ask you, what are other tips that you would give
Yeah,
to business owners that helped you get acclimated to the space yourself?
yeah, yeah. Another tip outside of Google alerts, because Google alerts let you know
That's a big
when
one.
your brand is mentioned, when your brand is named in publications, because they, like I say, they don't notify you.
Yeah.
But another thing that I would recommend is scheduling, especially with social media,
Mhm.
scheduling consistently. And consistency, you can define your consistency. Whether you post once a week, whether you post every other day, whatever you decide, but just be consistent.
Yeah.
Because that let people know that you exist. Can I share a story about consistency?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
okay. This is my story. Life lesson I learned about consistency. Um, I was approached by a museum gift shop curator, and she said, asked me, was I interested in having my designs in their gift shop? You know, the pitch, and I was like, of course I am. And she's like, well, I just want you to know, I followed you for 2 years, and I said, huh? And she
Wow.
said, yeah, I followed you for 2 years on social media because I was just waiting for an opportunity to become available so I can put you in the place of being in the gift shop. And I was thinking to myself, what if I wouldn't have been consistent in posting and sharing? Because she
Yeah.
could have thought, okay, well, she's not in business anymore. Something, you know what I'm
It's true.
saying?
It's
So
true.
consistency is key. What, like I say, whatever that is for you. It's not, I'm not saying you have to post, you have to share every day. Just make sure it's consistent. So
Oh man.
yeah.
That's an amazing story. I'm glad you shared that. And consistency is something I think we all could work on, myself included. I know. Because sometimes life gets in the way, but at
Yeah.
least I think like little baby goals, at least once a week. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
something to show folks that you're alive.
And that you're still in business. And that
Yeah,
you're still in business. Yeah. Because a lot of times people just assume, oh, they don't have a social media presence, then therefore they not in business, because a lot of business take place based on presence. So
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So you've created a brand that uplifts and celebrates natural hair. So how do you see this as contributing to the broader natural hair movement?
I think for me,
Mhm.
I feel like representation matters.
Yes.
Because if you go to my website, if you go to my shops, you gotta know who I serve.
It's
There's
definitely
no
not a mystery.
question.
It's not a mystery. I'll give you that.
There's no question about who I serve
Yeah.
and who my target audience is. And I think that resonates with the natural hair movement because as women with natural hair, we want to be acknowledged.
Yes.
And our choice of being natural embraced. I know with the crown at there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes trying to get acceptance into workplace, which doesn't really make sense.
That has never made sense to me as someone who has worked in the corporate world. That is insane to me that you
Yeah,
even have to have an act to wear your hair the way that God made it. It's
exactly.
like, well, why is it so high or why is it so it's like, okay, take it up with him. I have
Like
like,
it's not my
like,
fault.
I'm not gonna burn my hair out just to make you feel better about yourself.
Or more comfortable. Or comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So, and I think that that's how it really ties in. And going back to the marketing, let me say this,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, and it's your choice because it's your brand, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable identifying as a Black business owner. And that's okay because you know who your target audience is or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say this because I have identified as a Black designer and is represented on my website and my online shops, that hasn't kept other people from purchasing. I want to make that very clear. Having a clear concept of who your audience is helps you market better, but it doesn't eliminate people, if that makes sense.
I
Like,
love that. Yes.
yeah, because I have been featured in other places as Amazon and Etsy's fine, like Martha Stewart Shop, um,
Fantastic.
Good Housekeeping, and it's all because, like I said, the cowrie shell represents different things for different cultures. For some cultures, the cowrie shell is deemed as beach wear or beach
Mhm.
jewelry or beach attire. And it, I mean, it means different things for different people. And so, and understanding that, and after getting those features, I was like, okay, let me incorporate some of these beachwear hashtags
Yes.
into my post because, like I say, the shell means different things for different people, different cultures. With the good housekeeping feature, that really introduced me to the mermaid culture. I did not know that it was a mermaid culture to that feature because
I
they feature my designs as accessories for your mermaid costume. It was doing October. And I was
mm,
like, wait a minute, let me find out about this mermaid culture. And then it's a subcultures within the mermaid culture. There is this is African Black mermaid culture. And I'm excited to share. I'm forming a relationship with them. Afro Mermaid is they
wow.
have annual event every year. It's just a whole nother
Wow. No, that's amazing. That's new
world.
about that.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're forming a collaboration with them. But it's called Afro Mermaid.
I'll
So yeah,
look that up. Okay. Very interesting. You know
yeah.
what? I'm gonna piggyback off of a earlier comment that you said. The shell. What made you choose this particular shell to kind of base your brand off of?
I think initially I feel like the shell chose me.
Okay.
I didn't choose the shell because I had saw this shell. I think I was in it had to either be Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of the two. And I
Mhm.
saw the shell then and I was like, let me figure out how I can incorporate this shell, the seashell, into a design. And that's where it all started. And then once I started researching about the shell and
Okay.
learning about the shell's history, I was like, okay, yeah, it's starting to
Okay.
it's starting to make sense,
Mm,
So, but that's really how I started, just creating a design using seashells. Um, one of my first designs was somebody was having a beach wedding. That's what it was, and they was like, "Well, can you create some designs for my bridal party?" And I was like, "Sure," So, and yeah, it's just amazing how things just fall into place. You just never know how things gonna interconnect, but they really do. Everything does.
keep your eyes open. Gotta keep your eyes open. Gotta keep
Right, right, right.
your eyes open. So, how has your work with Accent Glory impacted your customers? Do you have like a memorable story or a testimonial that really touched you?
Yeah, I do. I have several of them, but the one that comes to mind that I just love. I had a customer to and this was one of my Estes customers. She wrote a review and she was telling me how, and a lot of my reviews share this, how the design makes them feel.
I love that.
Um, and she shared that how when she wear the
Mhm.
headband design, how it makes her feel like a queen, and it's a boost to her confidence,
Yeah.
and how she can walk into the room a lot taller and with more confidence because of it. And I was like, yes, it's doing what it's supposed to do, because while, like I say, while I'm creating, it gives me joy and peace. So
Yeah.
I believe that positive energy is passed on to each design that I create, because I handcraft everything I make by hand. So I believe that energy is passed on to each design that I create. And I told her, I was like, girl, you just don't know. I had to reply.
Aw.
Like, you just don't know how this made me feel, because I was like, thank you. And I do credit my customers for keeping me inspired, because those reviews are motivation to say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I've had people to write reviews saying how the share reminded them of childhood experiences, or a family member that's no longer here. And it's that kind of stuff is what keeps me inspired and motivated to keep doing what I'm doing, because I never thought creating designs, how that can positively impact
Oh,
somebody's
yeah.
life, you know, and
Yeah.
it really can. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. All right. So
Mhm.
we are at the beginning of 2025. If you could choose one word to represent your goals for this year, what would it be and why?
The word that I have chosen for 2025 is alignment.
Ooh,
And the reason why I chose
huh.
alignment is because I want to be in alignment for, number one, what God has for me. Number two, I want to those what He desires for me to align, and I believe this, with my desires. And what
Yeah.
I want for myself as well. So that's why I chose alignment, because I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like in my spirit, like this is my season. Like this is my season. So Tanya, you need to make sure everything is in alignment. All your ducks is in a row.
Yes.
You
No,
got every T crossed, every I dotted. Just be ready. And that's, yeah.
I love that alignment. Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Well, you know what? It has been such an amazing time listening to you tell your story. I really appreciate it. What advice would you give to someone else that is looking to start a business?
Do it.
Just like Nike.
I know, and another thing, done is better than perfect. I think a lot of times perfection hinders us from doing what we need to do, because I even think about my business and I look over the years how my skills have improved, how my designs look so much better. Some of my early work, I was like, "Ooh, people bought this,"
Oh,
but 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 done is better than perfect, because everybody has to start somewhere.
yep,
So
all the time.
just start. Just start. As you grow, as you mature, your skill set will improve. Your work will improve. You'll look better. Yeah, and just opportunity. And plus, opportunities only come when you put yourself out there. And I think about all the opportunities that have come my way simply because I have put myself out
I
there.
love that. I love that. I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I know the audience has as well. In the event that folks want to get in touch with you, how can they go about doing so?
I make it very easy for people to find me. I am at Senate Glory, ACCENTED Glory, GLORY, across the board at Senate Glory on all the social media platforms. My website is at senatglory.com. So, and I also sell on Amazon and Estes. I sell on my website, and I am in two now. I am in two North Carolina gift shops, one in Salisbury and one in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Tonya, I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I know the audience has as well. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.